Hello everyone, welcome back to Piston Cup Productions. Today we're going to be taking a look at the complete synthetic rubber tires Cars 1 collection consisting of all 35 Piston Cup racers from Mattel. We're going to go over the history, the releases, and all the card back variations. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So we have to get some history out the way before we demonstrate all 35 Piston Cup racers. Now, obviously the Apple Racer is not included in this bunch because it is an exclusive to the Motor Speedway of the South set, but everyone else doesn't have some sort of licensing issue or agreement they have to comply to, so everyone else is here. I'm still a little surprised that they have Dale Earnhardt Jr. I guess the license was still good back then to release him in this category of toy cars. But we have 3 different card back variations you need to keep in mind when you want to collect a whole set of these. We have the long card. This was 2009. We have the short card also from 2009. And then we have the Tokyo City card from 2010 with the big Kmart sticker. So the first wave, long card, came out in 2009. They had the longer cards and they were sold mainly at Kmart for the collector events, but also made their way to some Sears stores. I do remember seeing them at both stores when I was younger, and you know, they weren't that hard to find. Some of them were quite common, but especially now if you're trying to get into these in the secondhand market like eBay, collector stores and everything, some of them will be more expensive than others. I know stuff like Eugene, aka the Tank Coat Racer, or the Taco Mint Racer, those will be a little bit more expensive compared to others like Octane Gain or Toe Cap, or I don't know what's another one that's really common. I think Sputter Slap is pretty common too. Those will be like 10, 12 bucks, pretty accessible, but that's just the way it goes. I mean, these are collector pieces at the end of the day from collector events. They did another event in October of that same year in 2009, and those were in the shorter lenticular style cards and also had some chases in them. So they had this case right here, and they were kind of mixed in with like the lenticulars and such. So you had these guys, some chases, some lenticulars, all mixed in there. And then 2010, they did 2 more events. I think it was 2 at least of them. And they finally finished up the Piston Cup Racers with McQueen, Chick, and the King. So they did all of the Piston Cup Racers in 2009 except McQueen, Chick, and the King. They left them at the very end, but they finally came from those events at Kmart. In 2010, the only way to get a rubber tire McQueen was through a rubber tire 3-pack with McQueen gaskets and 4-wheel drive. In 2011, right before, or maybe the Cars 2 phase came along in May of 2011, they finally did King, Chick, and McQueen. So yeah, it took them a while. Right before Cars 2 was going to be the big selling point for Mattel and Disney, they did the final 3 main racers from the film. Gaskets and McQueen are the only variants in this entire lineup. Gaskets has black and blue rim variants, and McQueen has a brown and red rim variant, the 3-pack versus the single. With all of that out of the way, we're gonna go in numerical order of the packaging. So we'll start with the long cards, then the short cards, then the Tokyo Night cards. So numerical order: short, long, short, Tokyo Night. Let's get to it. fun fact, the long cards are the only ones that do not have the complete 360 blister. All the other ones, short cards and Tokyo packaging style, have a complete blister where you can inspect the vehicle 360. Now we're moving on to the Tokyo Night Sky sort of packaging with the only at Kmart sticker on a couple of these. Here's the packaging for Lightning McQueen. And of course showcasing the main three that were released in 2011. Now there is these right here with the 360 packaging that do show the images of the vehicles on the back. And these also do have a warning choking hazard sort of block right here near the image. And now that I look at them, it's just McQueen, Chick, and the King that have the only at Kmart sticker, so quite a bit of variation when it comes to these. And another note is I don't believe a single one of these has treaded tires. They all have slicks, just like a real NASCAR vehicle would. Another fun fact you guys might find interesting is that if a vehicle has a chat bubble next to the racer saying, "Look for more of my friends on the flyer inside," it had the flyer inside or the little collector's poster as far as the Tokyo background. For example, this one right here, it does not have the chat bubble, therefore it does not have the little collector's poster. Final vehicle for this video is Greg Candyman, aka Taco Mint number 101. That's about it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got for you guys. The complete rubber tire Piston Cup Racers collection. Let me know who your favorite is. And if you have any of these, let me know which one was your first one and the one you're mostly after. Piston Cup Productions signing out, and I will see you guys next time.